a quick stream. So, I just woke up, about to go back to sleep because I got to get up and go to work in a few hours. But I thought I'd, you know, do a quick live. So, it appears that Don Lemon has been let go from CNN. Now, I'm not going to rejoice and go, ha 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 ha, because, that's, you know, um, I've matured from doing stuff like that. But I will say this much about Don Lemon. I am not a fan of Don Lemon. I have never been a fan of Don Lemon. And no, it wasn't because of what his preference is on who he wants to, you know, be with. It was other things and other issues that I had with Don Lemon. But at the same time, Don Lemon did use his preference sometimes to hide behind his many attacks on the black community and in particularly black men. And then keep in mind, Don Lemon had some issues behind the scenes himself, because keep in mind, Don Lemon was accused of doing things, and he had, you know, he was under a lawsuit that was issued by somebody that accused him of some things, basically doing something improper, basically at a bar. And I just remember, like I said, a lot of attacks Don Lemon and vitriol that Don Lemon would display towards the black community. I hadn't forgot how he viciously attacked the black community in behind questioning, you know, the potion. Who can forget that? I mean, he literally called people stupid, said you deserve to be left behind. And then when, more details started to come out about, the potion, that was just, at the end of the day, it was the way he went about it. Like I said, I don't want to get I don't want to get too deep into that. So, I'm gonna leave that alone. But I just remember over the years some of his antics. I think a lot of his antics was disrespectful and very mean spirited. And a lot of times, even when people would semi respond, sometimes he would try to hide behind what his, preference was. I remember what he said about how he attacked T.I. and how he tried to attack black fatherhood. So, like I said, Don Lemon, I'm not a fan of his. Just got to keep, you just got to keep it a buck. I saw way too many times him throw throw the community under the bus. But I think what sealed his doom and sealed his fate basically was some remarks he made a little while ago pertaining to some woman. I think people behind the scenes didn't forget about it. And then I think they was looking for a way to get rid of him. Now, Don Lemon should be fine. I'm pretty sure Don Lemon will find another gig. Somebody will pick up Don Lemon. And besides, Don Lemon isn't going to be hurting for money, because I looked at Don Lemon. Don Lemon, at this moment, he has a net worth of around $12 million. So Don Lemon is exactly headed for, for Skid Row. So, you know, Don Lemon will be able to survive for a very long time. And if you look at what's going on, Don Lemon at the point, and he has the resources, he can start his own outlet. He can start his own media outlet where he basically works for himself. Well, him and Tucker Carlson start a show. That's I won't be watching it. But it is kind of funny that Don Lemon has been replaced, or should I say, he might be getting replaced with the likes of Gayle King and Charles Barkley, who announced they have a show that's going to be coming on soon with CNN. Keep in mind, Charles Barkley tried this before. He tried to do a talk show with Kenny the Jet Smith, and it failed miserably. The ratings were terrible, and basically they pulled it out, they pulled it off the air. So this would be Charles Barkley's second attempt of trying to do this. Now, will it work again this time? That remains to be seen. But you think when you hear about these type of shows, usually when they bring in one show, that means they want to ask something else, or they want something similar to what the person they got rid of was doing, or they want something similar with a mixture of something else, or they want to try to mix it up with a new formula. Gayle King and Charles Barkley, that's going to be an interesting combination. Will I be watching that show? No, because I know how Charles Barkley gets down. It'll just be a show pretty much whenever Charles Barkley can attack and throw the black community under the bus, he'll use the opportunity. And then when Charles Barkley gets called out and gets put under pressure and gets called out about always constantly attacking the black community, then every once in a while he'll do a show or a segment where he's going to talk about what somebody that isn't black is doing and how they're affecting whatever he's talking about or whatever the agenda is for that particular segment. And they're saying that this show is going to be live, so they're saying that no telling what's going to come out Charles Barkley's mouth, because Charles Barkley has shown at times he can put his foot in his mouth and he could just say something absolutely absurd. A lot of people like Charles Barkley, and particularly people that don't look like him, because keep in mind, when you constantly attack people that don't, when you constantly attack people that look like you, a lot of people seem to like you that that don't look like you, and that's from other communities. And that's what Charles Barkley has done over the past 15 years, constantly be a attack dog for the black community, or should I say be an attack dog against the black community. And he's just said a lot of embarrassing things over the years that just have you like scrimmage and squirming and just be like, I can't believe he said that. At the end of the day, Charles Barkley can be a walking minstrel show, a walking clown show. So I needed to put that out there. But as I said before, getting back to Don Lemon, I just remember a lot of stuff that Don Lemon used to do. A lot of stuff that I didn't care for. Now, me, myself, I didn't have a problem with what his life preference was, but I do think a lot of times he tried to hide behind that and basically try to dare people to attack him or come at him. And there were people who responded. And then at times Don Lemon would try to insinuate, oh, you're attacking this, guy like me who lives a different lifestyle. I've seen it way too many times, and a lot of them are known to do that. And then I think now that the safety net for them may be shortening a little bit based off, in particularly the disaster that just happened with Budweiser. And I think now some people feel like, okay, now we can make a move on them and certain people like that. At the end of the day, Don Lemon had his wake up call, and As you can see, the way they went about letting him go showed you after 17 years of being on the job, they didn't respect you enough to give you a decent send off. So, because he already tweeted about how they went about letting him go. He didn't see it coming. But then again, when he was moved from prime time to, I guess, a earlier slot, that was kind of like the writing on the wall. So there you have it. So there you have it, you guys. But I just wanted to give you guys my quick take on this situation. And by the way, I am going to also do a video in regards to Phil Jackson. I've always had my suspicions about Phil Jackson, but Phil Jackson finally revealed who he was and what type of person he is, which I already suspected Phil Jackson, and I'm going to break that down. So please stay tuned because I got a lot to say about Phil Jackson. And I know there's going to be people, of course, that's going to make excuses for Phil Jackson and a bunch of naive people. We know there's going to be people that's going to protect Phil Jackson and try to use this stuff about who he's coached and all that kind of stuff. So I am definitely going to respond to Phil Jackson's comments. So stay tuned. I'm out.